Hey guys, Tabs here from the Urban Goddess Shop. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something different. I've been watching some videos from Common Tags and she's doing these like chatty work with me, and I thought how cool would it be to do something like that. She also did a recent one where she was kind of talking about Poshmark myths, and I was like, man, I have so many opinions on these kind of things, and some of them I actually disagreed with what she said. This is the awesome part about YouTube and reselling, is that we can all kind of have our own opinions on things. So today what I'm going to be doing is going through my money pile slash death pile. It's pretty bad. Well, I guess maybe not as bad as some people, but this is kind of what I'm looking at right now. This is my hanging rack. I have a bunch of jean jackets for projects, but otherwise it's a little bit empty in here. I wanted to prep items to get them listed, and part of prepping items for me is just getting everything hung up. And then once I have everything hung up and kind of put into categories, I will steam them, delint them, depill them, whatever I have to do, and decide if they have to be spot cleaned or tossed in the wash. For right now, we're just going to start with hanging everything up that I've sourced over the last 3 weeks, because I haven't really been listing much. We've been really busy over the last couple weeks. We took some holidays. I've been doing some traveling. I just haven't been listing. So I want my sales to come back. I need to make more sales. And in order to make more sales, I gotta list more things. I kind of I put it out on my Instagram, like myths that we thought were true about Poshmark, or things that we were told when we first started. And I'm just gonna start going through some of them and just kind of giving my opinion and chatting with them. I had a good laugh about quite a few of these, because there were things that I honestly believed in the beginning as well. Let's just get this going. I'm gonna just work away and then we'll just chat while I work. So first one was host pick equals fast sale. Wasn't this a lie that we were all told? We felt like we had to do host parties. I know I've hosted a couple myself. I do find them really time consuming because you have to do some prep work. You have to find items that that meet that party criteria. You are supposed to comment on them, let people know. You got to save all the likes. Then the day of the party, you have to be live in the party during the party, and usually that's like, I feel like it's like 2 hours, maybe hour, 2 hour. I don't know if they expect you to be there the whole time, but they definitely want you in there sharing other people's items into the party. I do think it's a fun thing to do when you first get started, maybe even just to familiarize yourself with the app and parties, build some community, meet new people. But as a person that's been selling for a while, I don't feel like it's a great use of my time. It doesn't really directly benefit my business. I don't know if I've ever had a sale from a host pick, like directly from that party. I'm actually pretty confident I never have, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't think you need to do it. It's definitely one of those myths. We all get spammed with these like crazy messages, and I think it's fun, but not something that will equal sales. So that's definitely a myth. Next one was you need to share other people's closets. Now, I think that there is some myth in here and some truth. In order to become a Posh ambassador, you have to share other people's closets. And in order to become a Posh ambassador too, you have to have like so many community shares. I think it's like 5,000 now. That's a lot. Yeah, so I do think for those things, you definitely do have to do community sharing. I think of sharing other people's closets as like karma shares. It's not something that I have to do or that necessarily equates to sales, but it does give you like more exposure. You know, you might be sharing people's that don't necessarily follow your closet, which triggers them to follow it. If I had to do it manually, I don't know if I'd do it as much, but I have automation and I set mine up to share 200, not 200 closets, but 200 items a day. And then that helps me work towards my community shares for Posh 2 Ambassador, which again is not mandatory. And I feel like this is also a good topic to talk about. And it actually wasn't brought up that Posh 2 Ambassador or Posh 1 Ambassador are something that you need to strive for. Do I think that you need those things to make sales? No, I don't. I think if you sell items that people are looking for, it doesn't matter if you're a Posh 1 or 2 ambassador. Do I like the gold star beside my name? Yeah, I do. I don't know if the benefits, I don't know if they equate to anything really, but it's hard to say because I've never not been, right? So that's kind of hard to judge which works and which doesn't. I've always been a Posh ambassador, and I feel like my closet is successful. It does well. I make sales. I make money doing this. So I would say if it doesn't put you out, go for it, but it's not a necessity thing. Next was sharing others' items will help me. Again, yeah, I think it's like kind of a myth. It doesn't like directly help you, but I do think it's good karma to share some of other people's closets. And if you use automation, it doesn't hurt you. Set it up, do it, get your community shares, and don't stress about it. All right, what else we got here? You need to send a thank you note in every package. I think I did that for maybe like the first, I don't even know, maybe the first 20 packages I did, and it just was not a good use of my time. So I don't do it anymore. I did buy thank you stickers that I stick on each package, and it just says thank you for supporting my small business. And then I will also write a little package or a little note on top of the poly mailer for bigger bags. My poly mailer bags also say thank you for your purchase or thank you for your order or something like that. That's about the extent that I go. I don't do handmade notes. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's garbage day in my neighborhood, and that is the brakes of the garbage truck stopping at every garbage can as he like picks them up and dumps them. It's so annoying because he's got to go up both sides of the street. Okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. I feel like he's got to be almost done this section of our street. Yeah, okay. So you don't need to send a thank you note. That is on you. If you're sending out, 5 packages a week, I think if you enjoy doing it and it makes you happy, you do whatever makes you happy. If you are sending out a lot of packages and it stresses you out to write an individual note to everyone, don't worry about it. It does not impact sales. It does not impact rating. I still get tons and tons and tons of 5-star ratings. I still get love notes from people. I don't think putting an individual love note in a package is necessary. That's just my 2 cents. But you do whatever makes you happy in your business. And there is no cookie cutter model. There's no like, you have to do things this way. You can do whatever works for you. It's your business. You run it how you want. Next was only luxury brands and premium brands sell. And I like this one because I am with this. That is not true. Lots of styles, vintage. I'm like a firm believer in something doesn't have to be a brand name as long as it fits the trend or the style that you're going for. You don't have to have just brand names locally to make sales. And I think that is a misconception. A lot of people think that they have to find all these like bolo brands that people talk about on Instagram or on YouTube, and it's just not true. If you guys sat through some of my what solds, I have a lot of items that sell that are not brand name, that I strictly pick up and source on style or trends that I know are happening. Knowing your demographic, I guess, too, and what they're looking for, that really helps as well. But yeah, no, I don't think just luxury brands and premium brands sell. I think you can sell anything, and that's a huge misconception. That you have to list every day, and listing what you have when you can. Yes. Okay, so I don't think you have to list every day, and I've talked about this numerous times. I know there are still people that are like, save the drafts, make sure you're listing every day, consistency. I think consistency can be on like a numbers per week basis. For me, consistency is probably like recently, maybe 40 items a week. Actually, not recently because I haven't been listing very much, but like prior to this month, 40 to 50 items is my consistency, but I only list 2 days a week. So those 40 or 50 items are being listed over 2 days, which is like 20 to 25 items a day. I don't spread them out. I don't save them into drafts. I don't worry about them going out every day. I don't think that that's necessary. So I think that is a huge misconception. But I think what consistency is is putting fresh items in your closet always, right? So whether it's weekly, whether it's a bi-weekly basis, it's just if you want to make sales, you do have to list new items, right? You can't just put, your 10 or 20 items in for the month and then sit there and wonder why you're not making daily sales. In order to make daily sales, you have to be replacing that inventory. So if your goal is to, sell 2 items a day, that's 14 items a week. You probably have to list at least 20 to 30 items a week to make that sales goal, depending on your sell-through rate, things like that. I've talked about that on other videos. If you haven't checked them out, go to my tips and tricks playlist, and I have a bunch of videos on calculating your numbers. I don't think you have to list every day, but I do think you have to consistently put new inventory into your store. That's whatever works for you. And that's one of the things I really like about reselling. It's actually one of the things that kind of scares me away from eBay too sometimes, is that like when you hear people say, I guess this is something I would want to know because I'm not a huge eBay seller. Do you have to be daily consistent on eBay to make sales? So I can debunk it and say on Poshmark, you do not have to list daily to make sales. But in eBay, do you have to? Because I've heard that myth as well. All right, we're kind of working through this stuff. I got some ski pads. These were Emika's from last year. They don't fit anymore, so we'll get those listed. Kind of getting a good pile here of items to work with today. Not gonna lie, I'm excited to get lots of these fall sweaters, knits, jackets, things listed up. Okay, let's keep going on. There's some like kind of repeat ones. I was petrified of getting put into Poshmark jail. I love that one because I've personally been victimized by Poshmark jail. I've been in it 2 or 3 times. It's always for oversharing. Sometimes my automation gets carried away on me, and I've been at work where I changed a setting and forgot to change it back. And I am like literally put in Poshmark jail while I'm at work, and I like call one of my kids and I'm like, go up to my computer, change this setting. I think it's funny that an app has like a requirement that you have to share, but don't overshare because then we're going to suspend your account. So they like expect us to know this magic number of what's okay and what's not okay. And they want you to do like a minimum, but if you go over, then we're also going to penalize you. Like generally, I don't know, this is like my magic number. My magic number for sharing is between 6,000 and 8,000 a day. I try not to go over 8,000. I don't know what the actual number is, and I don't feel like it's ever been stated. I think it's just straight speculation, what we all think. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be pushing my limit going over 8,000, and even like probably 7,000 is where I would put that line at. Okay, that you couldn't sell elsewhere, or that you could only sell on Posh. That's a crazy myth. Yeah, you can sell wherever you want. I find most successful resellers are selling on a minimum of 2 to 3 platforms and just putting their eggs in multiple baskets. Living here in Canada, we are limited to the platforms. We don't have access to all the platforms that people have down in the States, but there's still quite a few that you can list your items on. And I always say put your eggs in multiple baskets, because putting like your items on Etsy or Depop or eBay doesn't take away from your sales on Poshmark. You're still going to continue to make those sales on Poshmark regardless of what other platforms you sell on. And you actually might be able to sell items for more money on other platforms. Like I have found my vintage items sell for way more on Etsy than they do on Poshmark. I've also found that sometimes certain items on eBay will get more money. I like to do leather goods, like leather jackets and stuff. So yeah, I definitely would be putting my eggs in multiple baskets. She says, okay, it's passive income. I don't know, I feel I can't be passive to sell items, share, list, relist, repeat. Exactly. I don't think it's a passive income. I think it definitely takes a lot of work to sell on Poshmark and to be a reseller. We all know that it's a process, there's multiple steps, and you have to master them all before you can really start making money on the app. And by no means is this an easy job or an easy business to be in. I do think that once you get your processes put in place, the the days become easier. Like it's not as, I don't say it's not as hard of work, but the work gets easier because you know what you're supposed to do. And that just takes time, trial and error, doing it multiple times, you know. Okay, what else? Lots of like community shares. Yeah, community shares that you got to check comps. Yeah, you don't have to check comps to sell, but where I saw a change in my business was actually when I started to check comps. I used to just like buy willy-nilly. I used to just buy whatever I saw. If I liked it, if my heart spoke to it, I would grab it. And I really kind of hammered down on checking comps last year. I don't do it as much anymore because I now have a good idea for like styles, what's older, what's newer, what people are looking for. But I definitely checked comps for like a solid 6 months on everything that I was putting in my closet. And I was only picking up items that I felt had a good sell-through rate and for the profit margin I was wanting. So I don't think you need to check comps to be successful. But I do think that if you have no idea what's selling or how much things sell for, or you're not into fashion, checking comps will save you some losses for sure. So I don't know if I believe that's a myth. I do think that there's some truth to that one, but I mean, there's lots of people that don't. So I think if I was a binge shopper and I was picking everything up for $1, who cares? I don't even need to check comps. I'm gonna at least make $2 off of this item. But for me, is the work worth the $5 that I'm making? Do you know what I mean? So like what I started to play out, and this just is for my business because I only have like a short amount of time that I can commit to my business, is that I try and source items that I'm making a profit margin that I'm happy with, and putting in the time of like sourcing it, prepping it, photographing, listing, shipping, and things like that. If all of that per an item works out to be about 20 minutes or even 15 minutes from beginning to end, like whether it's 2 minutes per task kind of thing, it has to be worth my money to be doing it. But there are different business models for everyone. There's lots of people that make like $5 to $10 an item and they just like churn out crazy amounts of items, and that works for them. For me, in the time frame that I have to work, it doesn't work for me. So I do check comps and I'm trying to get max profit for my items. Someone said that the myth they were told was you could make a full-time living at this full-time. So I think that this is like, I don't think this is a myth. I think that depends on what a full-time living is to you and what you value as a full-time living. I do think it's very possible to create a full-time income doing this and selling on multiple platforms, sourcing multiple ways. If you only sell on one platform and you only source one method and you know what I mean, you're not doing multiple things, I do see how it could be very difficult. But I think when you start to broaden your reach in all areas of your business, I do think you can create a full-time income. Now, if your full-time income is $150,000 a year, that might take a lot more work. If your full-time income is $45,000 a year, I think it's very doable. I don't know if I would call that a myth. It's definitely, I think it's achievable. I think it is. I aspire to be a full-time reseller, and I get asked that a lot, like when I'm gonna go full-time. And for me, it's kind of more about getting my kids through school. I like the security of having my job, the benefits, the paid vacation, and obviously I am paying into a pension plan right now. But yeah, I do intend on going more full-time with reselling once my kids are done school. I see the possibility, but that's just me and my business, and that's, yeah, maybe my income level I'm setting is lower. I don't know. Another one, this one makes me laugh so hard, and the myth is that Poshmark cares about us. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, I do like Poshmark. I like it because it's so easy to sell on. It's my favorite app to sell on because of the ease. If you sell on any other platforms and you have to arrange your own shipping, you know what kind of a pain in the butt that is. I agree. I don't think they like personally care about us. I do think they want us to profit and make money because obviously the more items we sell, the more commission they collect. So I don't know if that's like they care about us, but I do think there's like a part of me that they want us to succeed. I don't know what they're doing right now. Like, I feel like they're still doing A/B testing, And I've had multiple people say that to me where they're like, something's going on, my sales are wonky. I talked to a few very like big resellers and that sell a lot more items than I do. And even they're saying that sales are very sporadic and they're not sure what's going on. And they're like, from day to day, week to week, my sales can vary so much. And I think there's like a part of me as well that's like, are they still doing the testing? Because some things just aren't really adding up. I think that they are doing that testing because they're trying to optimize the app. They're just, I don't know, they're just not hitting it. Like they're not figuring it out, or maybe they are and they're just not telling us. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think they personally care about us, but I do think they care about their bottom dollar and they're trying to figure things out. Okay, another myth. You have to use great photos to sell. I disagree. That's truth. You don't have to use great photos to sell, but I always say this, if I have a great photo and you have a mediocre photo and we're selling the same item, like the exact same item, I'm going to make sure that my item sells first. And the way I do that is having great photos. When people look at my item, they see that it's in excellent condition. There's no question about it. They're not questioning quality or shrunken or whatever. So I don't think you have to have great photos to sell, but if you want to be competitive, and I guess depending on your price point of what you're selling, I think you should have good photos. I do think that will set your items apart from the 100 other people that are trying to sell the exact same thing. And then that also brings to, someone had mentioned that you have to have a white background to sell. And I don't think you have to have a white background to sell. Obviously, people still sell items that don't have white backgrounds, but I do think it makes your items look more professional. It has been proven and told to us that that's part of Google search. It helps your items rank better into Google search. I've seen numerous items of mine in Google search that have white backgrounds. So I will continue to use it. And when I feel that it no longer benefits me, I will be the first person to stop using white backgrounds, because it is a time suck. It takes time to edit all those photos. I do use Photo Room, which is pretty quick because I can do bulk edits, but it's still time consuming. It's not something I enjoy doing, but I think I personally see the benefit in my business. I don't know if I think that that's a myth. And by all means, chime in the comments, guys. Like, let me know what you think of any of these. If you disagree with me, that's totally fine. I want to hear like what your opinions are, because this is what this is about. It's about us just like talking and working together and sharing things. Okay, one more I'm going to do. Always counter an offer, never decline, or the algorithm will punish you. Isn't it sad how we're all like terrified of this be all end all algorithm, and that it like determines what we do, and we're trying to like please it and we don't want to be punished by it. But like the truth is, I don't think the algorithm, and sometimes like I used to believe it, but I think there's just a huge part of me that doesn't think that the algorithm is even developed enough to acknowledge those kind of things. I think it's best business practice to always respond to an offer. I don't think you always have to counter. I think you can decline. And I think that's up to you. The only thing is, what I say is don't decline out of spite. Like, don't take it personally. If someone sends you an offer and you're like offended by it, don't decline just because you're being emotional. Do you know what I mean? If it's like an absolute no, you're not even open to negotiating on the item, then obviously you're declining. But I do try and counter probably 90% of the time. If someone sends me a $10 offer on like a $100 item, I just hit decline. I'm not even wasting my time. Yeah, potentially they could come back at me with like $70, but I'm going to tell you 99 out of 100 times they don't. It's garbage what they come up with. So I'm not going to stress about it. If it's like a petty offer, I just decline. If they want to come at me with a better offer, by all means, but I am not wasting my time and energy on that. Okay, guys, that is the last one I'm going to go over. I feel like I got quite a few items. Let's go over this. I got quite a few items. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 items hung up, ready to list. And I'm just going to do some steaming now and some lint cleaning, and get them ready to photograph. So I hope you enjoyed this style of video. It's kind of something new and different, but I felt like it's just a good way to have open discussion and to talk about things that I feel like we are all going through and thinking about. And I'm going to try and do these types of videos more often. So if there's ever a topic that you want me to chat about, or you have some ideas, drop them in the comments, let me know, send me a DM through Instagram, whatever works for you. I hope you enjoy this. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for working with me. I hope you got a bunch of items done or listed or prepared like I'm doing. And yeah, I just hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, I am wishing you all many sales, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Gone for too long. Standing